Thank you. NAFCo stands for the Northern Appalachian Film Collective. Tonight we are partnering with Ryan Cavalline, and he is showing his film, The Exorcism Prayer. So we're very excited to have him here tonight, and we thank him very much for being here. Afterwards, you're going to do a Q&A of the film. There's also a couple of tables up here, one about NAFCO and NAFCO's events and things that are going on, as well as Ryan's table. He's selling his DVD, The Exorcism Prayer, which is very exciting tonight. And I'm thanking Kurt for the venue and the DuBois Diner, and he's been very kind to us as well. That's good. Okay, so Ryan, did you want to get up and say a few words before we show your film, or do you just want to wait till afterwards? We can do Q&A. It's up to you.
We can do Q&A after.
Q&A after? All right, cool. All right, so everybody enjoy the film.
The most beautiful of all of God's creations was an angel named Lucifer. But Lucifer was not content in his position. So it is said that Lucifer fell only because in our scientific, rational age, spiritual beliefs are scorned as myth. Lucifer, however, doesn't mind those who rebuff the reality of fallen angels or demons. By masking themselves, they can tempt and deceive people without blame. The demonic
signifying solidarity with a particular group. The phrase comes from the story of a possessed man revival. Jesus comes across an unnamed man who is plagued by demons. He performs an exorcism, and in order to cast the demon out, he asks it for its name.
I looked for people that might have been possessed and found a bunch of movies. Remember that?
It was several years in the
Yeah.
where we talked about it, and Ryan would say, and I even said to him, I said, Ryan, let's do some on exorcism, and we both agreed, and we wasn't going up after the Liberties, I guess.
Yeah. Well, but there were people that said they were possessed at one time and they weren't, and it just came up. I think they were just messing with us. So when we met Reverend Slope out of Erie, he was kind of like the domino effect. He led us to another priest that did exorcisms, and that priest led us to another priest. And it kind of kept going like that. We met demonologists, and it just kind of snowballed into that, really. So it was funny because like a lot of the priests said, hey, this is great that you guys are doing this, but be very careful what you're doing. And we were like, okay, yeah, we kind of blew it off. Then Dave lost a finger, and I got life flighted, and now his wife's having some problems, and like we had stuff going on at my house, stuff going on at your house, and we're like, we didn't think much of it, but this is probably the worst film we've ever had to put together because like we had problems with audio, video, full static and lines.
The thing was a disaster. It went together well, but like you said, while we were going, as soon as we started going, it was months later, and I didn't put two and two together. I lost my finger, which was, you could blame it on a shop thing, no big deal. And I did, but then he got sick, life fired. Then recently, my wife has gone through bouts of cancer with the thyroid thing. All this in the year that we started this film, and
I'm not blaming the film, but we just think about having a lot of stuff happen. Now you had stuff happen at your house, I had stuff happen at my house. When we were interviewing Reverend Thomas, he was telling us a story about the little girl. Like my camera batteries were dying. We went through 4 camera batteries within 15 minutes. Well, like you can see the gauge go right down. We couldn't understand.
Well, even Ryan said, "Hey, Dave, come over and look at this." He's still on them, and I came over, and we saw the battery was all green.
Yeah.
And just as he was talking to them, you could see it drop.
Yeah. I'm like, hold on, we gotta switch batteries. And I'm like, it doesn't really happen like that. It's just kind of weird. The demonologist Carl Johnson, I was interviewing him. We heard growling noises after we replayed some of the audio. I sent it to him. I said, what do you think? And he's like, well, I can't judge on that, but you could actually hear something growling while he was telling stories, like in the background. And a lot of his audio was messed up because I said, where were you at? And he said, I was sitting in my car talking on Bluetooth. So it wasn't nothing. There's nothing. It was a problem after problem after problem. Even getting the film out of the computer was like horrible. I had to take it to another editor to help me get it out. We had to take it out in pieces. I've never had problems like that before. Unbelievably, even down to the artwork. We had color problems. Like it kept blurring problems, and we couldn't get it out. So it was probably the worst year of filmmaking I think we've ever gone through.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
Of course, Ryan is the masterpiece of telling a story, and he does. He tells a story like nobody else can with the film things, and I'm just so lucky to be a part of it, to be able to help him with to find the investigations, ask the questions, but when he put it together, it just, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. When it first happened, when we were all done with what our investigations and talking to everybody, I'm like, is he going to make me look like a total ass? And I do. I look like a total ass by myself. But,
kind of like the Master Blaster from Thunderdome, aren't we?
You are. I'm a master.
No.
But anyway, he does an awesome job telling a story, and we put it together, and with me and my wife, and with the people that we're connected with, as far as investigations, which we've done for probably about 20 years and stuff. It helps them out, as far as we can bring that in. My wife is like, she keeps us on track.
She keeps us on track. Does the schedule.
Yeah, but it all goes together really well. So,
but this was the worst film to put together.
Question.
Answer. Go.
So there's definitely a strong Catholic approach to this whole thing, and I know you have some other some other mediums that were involved with the whole thing. But I know, as you were saying, you kind of pursued a certain course, and then that course led you to other things. So through the sources that you had in this, like, what do you think as far as?
Here's what's really cool. You said about strong Catholic. The majority of half of what you saw was not Catholic. They were actually Baptist and Protestant. The other two, the older fella and Father Mark, was the Catholic priest. So that's what they appreciated when we talked to them, that we went to somebody other than Catholic, and we had a variety of their thoughts. And the funny thing is, they all mesh. They all work out. Whether you're Protestant, whether you're Catholic, when it all boils down to it, we're praying to the same dude, and it's all working out.
The exorcism rites were similar across the...
Very similar, and they looked at the same things from the, is the dude crazy, or person crazy, or is it actually a possession?
They all said it across the board. It used to be like 1 out of 100 were actual demonic cases. Now it's risen to almost 5 out of 100, and that's just in recent years. So the number is, and they all agree to that. Even the demonologists agree to that, and how we approach things, and like they all go through that whole psychological evaluation before they ever think about
what I'm talking about.
Okay, so did any of them ever say, because like I guess growing up, if you went to church and they mentioned stuff, that whatever demons are out there have always been out there from the beginning, the existence of time. So did they say that those, so the demons, are they the ones that have been there since the existence of time, or are they saying that, oh no, like why is the number increasing if the same amount of demons have always supposedly been there since the beginning of time?
Because faith has fallen. Our faith has fallen completely.
Definitely, just like he said, faith has fallen, godless times, nobody believes anymore. you talk to anybody, even my own sons, both of them were raised Catholic. I raised them Catholic. I did the best I can, but nobody believes anything. God is out of the question. It's completely ridiculous. The internet has shrunk everything down to Google Earth. That's it.
But they said every priest said that there was like kind of 3 stages. Like demons mess with us on a daily basis, whether it be anxiety, fear, greed, the 7 deadly sins. I mean, they mess with us on a daily basis. It's just how much do we take in. And the second one was once we let them in, it's like a home instance, a home invasion basically, of like a poltergeist. But there's 2 different types. There's a haunting and there's demonic activity in the house. There's 2 different types. And then the third one is possession, which possession is extremely rare, but it still happens. So, and that's what we're saying. We just don't know it. We don't think about it because they know our weaknesses better than we do. The evidence hasn't changed.
Can I ask you about the archival material? Like, where were the tapes from? Where you have shown the tape recorder, and also the woman that was speaking looked like she was like from a VHS tape or something.
Yeah, those were all interviews, and I just let them change things up. We just kind of do.
A lot of the interviews were so messed up.
Yeah, some
was so messed up because of what we call interferences. Whether we didn't know it was demonic, we didn't know if it was just equipment failure. But what he did was take those messed up films and actually put it in a format, whether it be VHS or anything like that, to explain it. Okay, so it's screwed up. Let's put it in a VHS mode.
Yeah, kind of because
even like the one demonologist, his voice kept on cracking up. So his thought was, okay, let's put it in the real, because that explains.
That was Carl Johnson. He actually called me and said, "Where do you find those reels at?" And I said, "There are no reels. We just kind of dubbed your voice over some reels." He's like, "I thought my story was out there on reels." I'm like, "No."
And like Ryan said, the whole like the voice is breaking up, and they're breaking up like crazy. But on top of that, he sent me he called me one night. "Hey Dave, you need to listen to this right now." And we heard him, Carl, and Carl's talking, and behind it, the whole time that he was talking, we heard these guttural growls the whole way through it.
We didn't put it in the film because we couldn't verify if that was just an audio problem or if there was something wrong. Carl even said, I don't want to put my stamp of approval on it. And we just kind of left it out. Even stuff at your house was happening, stuff at my house. My cat, I've had for years, was starting to go ballistic for a month. Like she attacked me in the morning and at night. She kept going to the one window I have in the basement. She's seen it for years. We'd go up and sit there and go nuts. Like she would attack. Like there was something. Usually if there's something outside, she freaks out like a raccoon or a porcupine. But there's nothing outside. She was attacking me. This went on for like a month. And then we had knockings in the walls, which I just kind of blew off as bats or whatever. And just weird shit like that. It just kept going on. Now he had stuff going on in his house, white or black.
What we're experiencing at this point is knocks on windows. Actually, something hitting it against our siding. We have what seems to be apparitions, although I have not experienced it. My wife has. The apparitions, a form of a woman in a glowing outline of it, approaching her in 2 steps, like she wants something. We've experienced that. I've experienced what I'm calling, it sounds crazy, the ghost dog. A dog going down my hallway and going into nothingness. Although I do have a couple of dogs, and I checked my wife and look, where are they at? And they were all laying with her. And then just
weird shit like that. Yep.
Waking up with scratches. I've been scratched from head to toe.
Is it from the film? We're not saying that, but it just seems like odd that the last year we've had trouble since we started the film.
Yeah.
We've never had this much trouble on a film. Never. So,
technical question. The artwork that's on the film, was that something that you have a local source? Are you doing it yourself, or
I have an artist that does it, but he's not local. He's in another country.
so do you say I need to have 30 seconds of this kind of thing on having on or how do you?
Like each of the stories, I would storyboard them out. I'm like, I need this frame, I need this frame, and then they come back to you. What do you think of this? This, and I change that, change this one. Good. Yeah, it's cool when you have like a group of artists. I can call real quick and be like, this is what I need, and they're like, yeah, I get what you think. So I kind of stick with my same group of illustrators, animators, even title intros. I mean, I got a cool group that just bang it out real quick. Yeah. Even the music guy, he's Tony De Niro. He's been with me for years. I just say, this is what I need. Tell me whatever. So
one of the cool things about this project was when we went into it. First off, my wife is extremely religious. She considers herself like, well, she was a transport into Catholic. She wasn't Catholic either. She became Catholic after we became married. No pressure there whatsoever. She just decided she wanted that.
she was a Satanist, wasn't she? She was Satanist, wasn't she?
No. But anyway,
I'm sorry. Here you go. I'm sorry. She came into the Catholic world. That's okay. That's okay. Any other questions?
Well, I want to know what's the reason behind why there seems to be some reason that nobody can get like a GoPro on one of the priest's heads and do film an actual exorcism.
HIPAA. That was the biggest one. HIPAA.
Yeah,
that was. People were no.
But even before HIPAA existed, they didn't seem to.
We asked about that.
Because I work in mental health myself, actually, so I get what you're talking about. I'm just saying, over the centuries, there doesn't seem to be a real.
We asked, was there anyone they could ask, or was there anyone we could talk to? And he's like, I can't give you that information. We're sorry. And I was fine with that. We couldn't find him. And then when we did find people that we thought had real stories, they just weren't there.
Yeah, because where does HIPAA apply when you have a like I understand with mental illness, but when you're I don't see where HIPAA says demonic possession. Is there a clause in the HIPAA that says demonic possession counts as
Probably the clause of some priest regarding, because there's a law regarding the priests have to, they're withheld upon a certain law to be quiet with certain, they don't have to report things.
Well, their own form of HIPAA, I'm sorry. Yeah, they have their own code. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just a question over here.
No. When I first heard the idea of the Exorcism Prayer, you can't laugh at me, Perry.
Oh.
But the first thing that came up in my mind was the TV show Supernatural. And I was just wondering if...
You never got the laugh at you.
I was wondering if you mentioned to any of the priests if what they show or how they portray exorcisms and the rituals and stuff that do appear on the show, they guess if they're are they accurate or is they
probably accurate to the head twist. Does everything spew out and check out. One of the reasons why, and they explained it to, was when a demon or Satan possesses you. A lot of what happens to you, and the reason why you're not all broken up, why you're not busted, is it's fake. He tricked you. This is what you're seeing. You're seeing, somebody's head twisting the whole way around. You're seeing a person bending different ways that was just not going to happen. But Satan has tricked you, and that's the way they explain it, is that the whole thing is a trick of the eye. That's it.
Usually there's always 5 signs that priests look for if there is a demonic possession. That's usually levitation, talking in a language they don't know, or a dead language, Lose track. Repelling from religious items. There's two more.
I wasn't necessarily with how
The talking in language.
right.
Yeah.
The repelling from religious items.
Levitation. That's the biggest one. And then there's one.
I
Anyway.
was more referring
Yes.
to there's actual exorcism that's used on the show. Did you mention any of the priests about it, like how they felt about it?
No, because they all kind of have their own way of doing it. They all have their own set of relations, how they do it.
The only connection we can
How you
make.
felt about how it was portrayed.
They would always go back to The Exorcist. That was always the movie they always went back to, and they just said it's not like that.
Well, they continuously came back to that. But one of the things that we saw with each one of the exorcists, whether Catholic or Protestant, that they all suffered some sort of physical issue after what happened.
A lot of them had to go to counseling afterwards and what have you. Didn't really answer your question, did we? No, they didn't really bring it up. The most they brought up was like the Exorcist movie, just because that was the most popular. That's the only one they really refer to.
Did they actually watch it though?
The Exorcist movie.
Like if the priest always referred to The Exorcist and not the effort to the priest actually watch The Exorcist?
Actually, yes, they have. And the reason why is, and let me tell you this, the dude, and I can't remember his name, that made the Exorcism movie, did his research. And he actually did a show called The Devil and Father Manure. Anyway, he was invited back. He did his research, and he based that film on an actual exorcism. Although roles were switched, like it was a little boy, it was a little girl, everything was something that actually happened. So these are things that really happened.
There's a lot of exorcisms in the movie, but I mean, you got the crazy guy that does them normally. I forget the guy's name. He goes around and thinks he's a specialist in demonology, and he goes into these seminars and blesses the demons out of them. Is he doing it right? Probably not. Most priests told us that you should not be messing with this stuff. You should be extremely trained in it. There's a lot of voodoo people doing it, or people out there just doing it the way they think it should be done, which is completely
William Peter Blatty wrote the novel, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
See, nudity is so fake. Like, there's
Well, it's Hollywood.
Like, to me, it just looks so fake.
Oh, for sure. Well, how do you make that real? Especially at that time of day, like, we don't have at that when it came out.
You should be right.
It was all
Pea soup. It was pea soup that she was spitting out.
I think like that, like the head turning in the pea soup out of mouth. Like to me, that's super fake. Like I don't know, like I just portray that as like something that's like.
Most of the priests that we interviewed had those 5 things that they saw on a regular basis. Those 5 I mentioned. That's what they saw most of the time. Levitating.
So what other films do you guys have out there that we should be interested in, or maybe go look at for screening now and again?
We got The Lost Gold Dance Run, which is still a very hot topic. We're still looking for gold. The Legend of David Lewis, we finished, which was about an outlaw from Pennsylvania. He was kind of like a weird kid at the time. We have Mount Devil, which is our Bigfoot film, but that's kind of old. And this film, but we have 3-4 films in the works right now. So we're busy.
But the one thing you should be looking out for, though, we're topping off the Mountain Devil, and we're doing a Mountain Devil 2, which is
kind of a big deal because we're basing it on a book from 30 years ago, which is kind of pretty cool.
Which is called The Creature, so
yeah, that should be fun. So we got a lot going on.
Cool.
Nothing else?
Did you find, this is kind of about your Jen Throat thing, I might have been confused. Brian was kind of filling me in on it, but I might have been confused. Did you find the gold? I heard that you I don't know, You start to say, okay, I thought you found the gold, and then like the FBI or took you out.
That was another treasure hunt group called Finders Keepers. We worked with them for quite a while.
Okay.
They actually found it. Well,
what they
swap
claim.
was.
Yeah.
So we were in the middle of making a documentary at one point with them, and then we kind of shelved it for a while. And then the FBI showed up, and we're like, shit, we got to finish this now. Went back to film and we finished it up. Yeah, like, damn, we got to get this done now, because the FBI was down there. We got to go and get all the shots we can get. So, but it wasn't ours. It was the other group we worked with.
The whole funny thing about the Dex Run thing, when we started it, we started interviewing them, and we went in the woods. They were taking us to the spot, and one thing they made sure that we saw, and they raised their coat up like that. Yeah. We saw all their guns.
I'm like, okay, we will tell all of them. Yeah. But it was interesting. I mean, that's still ongoing. I think they're suing the FBI. Good luck with that.
Okay.
Well, that's the next movie I want to watch.
It's on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon, Vimeo, legendhunterfilms.com. We have DVDs on there. That's our spill. That's our two cents. We're sticking to it.
Well, yeah, we have to. We don't make enough money.
Let's stick around and take more questions. All this stuff. I think this is great.
Thank you.
I'll give you.